Sega, we need a console. All right, y'all, what's going on? It's your boy Robbie, and we are back for not a reaction, but more so a conversation about where my head is as far as games and things like that, and what I've been feeling like lately in terms of video games. So, gonna kind of give y'all a bit of a backstory on when I got introduced to video games. For those that don't know, I am 36, so I've been playing games for as far back as I can remember, definitely early 90s. I basically come from a gaming family. My grandmother was a gamer, my aunties, my father, all gamers for the most part. And my first encounter with a video game, I want to say, was the Super Nintendo. My father, he's probably gonna be watching this. He had brought a Super Nintendo from the Wiz. Some of y'all might not know what the Wiz is. You might be too young. Some of you might know what it is, but it was a electronics store, big box electronics store in the tri-state area. And he went there and he brought a Super Nintendo. And maybe for about a week, he had that console and he took the damn thing back. And he comes home one day, he's going up into the attic space. At this time, my whole family, we're all in Queens. I see him going upstairs, and all I can remember seeing is the box, and it said Sega Genesis. So I was like, wonder what that is. Now, you got to understand, at this time, I'm probably like 3. So at that age, I don't really understand the whole concept of video games to that extent. But I was soon going to learn. Funny enough, my father had a Sega Genesis, my Aunt Sandra had a Sega Genesis, and my Aunt Rivetta had a Sega Genesis. So we were a Sega house, okay? Everybody had a Sega Genesis. Now, I think my father did have a Game Boy. He did have a Game Boy, and my Aunt Rivetta had a Game Boy as well. But as far as home consoles, we was Sega all the way. And I remember as a child, my father used to let me and my cousins come up there to the attic space and play the game. Of course, we had to be monitored because at that time, you're not really understanding like these cartridges, they could break. That might have been another reason why game makers back then were so heavy on using cartridges. Not so much, well, because at that time, CDs weren't really an option. That wasn't a thing yet. But then two, it was something that, could be dropped and you wouldn't have to worry about it breaking. So that was, ingenious on their part. Well, I'm going to say, what's the guy? Jerry Lawson. I think that's his name. He created the video game cartridge. But needless to say, moving on, we would play that. And I think around 1996-ish, 7-ish, somewhere around there, it's my birthday. And my mom, she brought me a Sega Game Gear. And I got Sonic the Hedgehog and Columns. I think Columns came with the console, the handheld. And I love the hell out of that thing, man. I remember having it. It ate through batteries. Y'all already know if you've ever had a Sega Game Gear, those things eat through batteries. And I think eventually my mother did get me an adapter, which kind of killed the whole portability part of it, but I didn't really care. And I remember one time me and my dad went to Green Acres Mall and just, strolling through KB Toys. He brought me Fatal Fury. It was a fighting game. Looks kind of cheesy now, but back then it was a pretty fun game to play. So I had Fatal Fury, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and I had Columns. And then one of my friends, I still have that cartridge to this day. I had the Streets of Rage 2. I have that cartridge in my storage. Fast forward, I'm in school one day. Now, my mother had told me on many occasions not to take my Sega Game Gear to school, but being a second grade kid, not listening, doing what I want to do, I took it to school. I got in trouble in after school, got put in the timeout corner, and by the time I went back to my Space Jam book bag, the damn thing was gone. And when I tell you I cried my eyes out, believe me, I cried my eyes out. Of course, I didn't get another one. I was sick. I'm not gonna lie, I was really sick behind that. But I ended up stealing somebody's Game Boy not too long after that, so I kind of felt redeemed. I had redeemed myself. So, yeah. That was that with the Sega Game Gear. 1999 strolls around. I'm turning 10 this year. And it just so happens that I'm in the 4th grade. I'm doing pretty good in school. I'm getting them good grades or whatever. I was really killing 4th grade. You know what I'm saying? Doing my thing. December 23rd, 1999 rolls around. I'm turning 10. My dad is down visiting. His birthday was 2 days earlier because his birthday's on the 21st of December. Mine's is on the 23rd. He comes to my grandmother's house because I'm staying with my grandparents at this time. And lo and behold, he has a birthday bag and it has a Sega Dreamcast. And man, when I tell you my eyes lit up and I was the happiest I could ever be. Of course, I thank my dad for buying it for me, you know what I'm saying? And I had Sonic Adventure and I had the demo disc. I played the hell out of that system. I loved my Sega Dreamcast. I didn't have but one controller, but it was enough for me. And, you know, me and my cousins, we would, you know, play that. I didn't have many games for it. I had Rayman, I had Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, Tomb Raider, Marvel vs. Capcom, and I want to say that's it. I didn't have a lot of games for my Sega Dreamcast, unfortunately. Games were kind of hard to come by. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you're living with your grandparents and, you know, they don't really get into all of that and buying discs and knowing where to go and stuff like that. So I didn't really get a lot of games for it, but I did enjoy it. And next thing you know, boom, Sega was gone. And I switched over to Xbox, was rocking out with Xbox, got a PlayStation 3, and then now I just got a Switch and a PlayStation 4. And so why am I mentioning all of this? I'm mentioning all this because we all see what the landscape is in the gaming industry right now, okay? Sony's doing away with physical disc, as well as Xbox most likely. I mean, Nintendo's off in their own world doing their own thing. They're killing it with the Switch 2 now because everybody's going to start buying up the Switch 2s. But it's got me and a lot of other gamers online thinking that this might be the best time for Sega to come back with a console, maybe a hybrid like Nintendo. You know, it could be a handheld, but it could also be played on a TV. Why not? You've been on the sidelines long enough to see the mistakes by all of these companies. So why not get back out here? I think it would be a dope idea if Sega did this. And let me tell you why. Because for me, as a Sonic the Hedgehog fan, something deep down in me just doesn't feel right playing Sonic on a Sony PlayStation or a Nintendo console. It almost seems like Sony and Nintendo and Xbox, like they just sunned Sega. You know what I'm saying? And just took the mascot and put him on every platform. It's like, no, something about it just doesn't feel right. I feel sometimes in my heart that if I'm going to be playing a Sonic game, I should be playing it on Sega because it's mascot. You know what I mean? I was thinking, right? How dope would this be if they was to come out with a trailer where you see Sonic coming out of like a Nintendo building, right? Or Sony building, like all these different buildings or whatever, just having a jolly old time. And then he comes out, right? And then he looks into the distance and he sees a Sega building that's like it's been abandoned. And then he walks over there, he pulls open the doors. You see all these trees and twigs and stuff, something out of like The Last Man Standing, right? And then he goes and he finds where the power is and he just flips the switch or whatever, and then you just see the Sega logo light up, and then the screen just goes black, and then it says, "I'm back." Like, how dope would that shit be if they did something like that? They come out with a console, and they drop Sonic Adventure 3. Sonic Adventure 3. They could make a billboard or a poster where all you see is the eyes, like Sonic's eyes, right? And then at the bottom, it just says 3. And then it has a date. Come on, man. Like, talk about marketing. You feel me? I really think that Sega should definitely get back out here and start making consoles. I really do. We need some gaming competition. You feel me? And the way things are moving now, I was contemplating on getting a PlayStation 5 for the sole purposes of being able to play GTA 6 and a slew of other games. But when I look at the price tag, $800, I'm like, yo, why does gaming have to cost this much? I'm just really wishing that Sega would come back. Hopefully, maybe this video lands on their doorstep and many other videos where they hear people talking like this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Sega, come back out with a console, man. Come on, it's time to come back. It's time to come back. We gamers, we miss you. You know what I'm saying? Especially me. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Sega. Before it was Xbox, I was a Sega guy, and Nintendo came second. But I was always Sega first. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to wrap this video up, y'all. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. Make sure y'all sub to the channel, press the like button, spam the comments. Let me know if you guys are Sega fans, if you enjoyed playing Sega, if you're old enough to remember it. And yeah, have this conversation going. Keep it going. All that being said, it's your boy Robbie. Until the next video, I'm out.